website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, how do you become extremely good at alternate picking? I used to use the normal formula of pick up and down, and then pick an exercise like play a couple of notes or a lick or a sequence, and then do that a lot, 3 steps. And I did that for a year, and I practiced, and I was really committed. I practiced hours a day, and it didn't work. I was making, small amount of progress, but it was like, if I progress like this, it's going to take me 10 years to get to where I want to go. So I started asking some new questions, right? How did he do it in that, very short period of time? And I wasn't willing to focus on talent because that is really, for the main part when it comes to this instrument, an illusion. Some people are lucky to do the right thing. So let's not be lucky. Let's use our conscious, intelligent mind to figure out what is actually going on. And in this video, I'm going to give you a crucial principle that if you are practicing without a focus on this principle and using that principle in your practice routine, then you are effectively wasting your time. All your good energy, your ambition, all your good effort and enthusiasm around getting better is wasted, like massively, right? And the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I used to waste a lot of time. And that was painful. So let's fix this, okay? Before we do, go sign up for our free courses here below this video. Sweep picking course, alternate picking course. Just sign up and subscribe to this channel. And remember to put a comment below here if you like this video or if you don't like it. So what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about a principle that is crucial. You must know this, and it is focus. So what are we focusing on when we practice alternate picking? Answer me, please. What are you focusing on? Well, I'm focusing on doing it right, or I'm focusing on trying, to do it fast. Doing it right is an okay focus. Doing it fast is a crappy focus because you don't want to, it's not running. It's not trying to do something fast. It's building accurate little movements, one step at a time. But the focus we have is really, it's not a focus. We're focusing on this broad an area, and that's not focus. If you have a sniper rifle and you look through the scope, notice that you can only look at one thing at a time. Even your vision, your eyes can only focus on one thing at a time, and it's a very narrow focus. It's like it's this big, right? Everything outside of this becomes more and more blurry. That's how our vision works. And your mind should work in the same way. But we are totally unconscious about what goes into alternate picking. That's why it's so hard to learn. Not because of alternate picking itself, but because we simply don't know where to put our focus. And the reason why you must be able to do this is because the brain cannot learn if you don't tell it what to learn, right? We can do this forever. And it's like a dog. If it thinks it does it the right thing, then it's just going to do the thing it does. And it can do the wrong thing all along. And you can be practicing like forever. Nothing happens. So just to know what to focus on here, let's just take an example. Why do we think it's easier to play, or why do your alternate picking skills become better when you are playing with distortion? Right? Why do they become, why isn't it? Why is that? And why is it harder to play on an acoustic, which has, compared to a clean electric, and even easier if you put on compression, right? Or even easier if you put on distortion. It's because that what the acoustic doesn't have and the electric has is compression. And compression is basically having a small hole, and then you take like this much sound and you try to put it through that hole, which doesn't fit. So all that's going to come through this hole is, this much. So, but if I try to put this amount of sound into that little hole, what is going to come out? This much. If I put this much sound into that little hole, not this, but this, how much is going to come out? This much, right? This bottleneck determines how much sound is going to come out. So sometimes your pick strokes are this loud, sometimes your pick strokes are this loud, sometimes they're not bigger than the hole actually, they're all the way down here. You hardly hit the string because you are inaccurate. But that doesn't matter when you have compression, which is this, right? When you have compression on, it's simply going to take the loud pick strokes, put them down, and the more silent pick strokes, and pull them up. That's the effect of it. And I'm not an expert in the workings of limiters and compressors. This is just the overall thing that happens. But what does that tell you? What does that tell you? It tells you that your challenge is accuracy as to how loud you pick. Because as long as you don't know how loud you pick, you don't know how much force you have to use for each pick stroke. So you just have to overpower that inaccuracy by forcing through the string, which is not fast, which is really a slow process, right? And so you might use your whole arm. So you have that heavy pendulum just, forcing the hand or the pick through the string, no matter if you pick deep or shallowly. But here's the truth. If you pick up an acoustic with no compression, you can only play as fast as you can play accurate. The more accurate you get, the faster you pick, period. So if you start focusing on picking accuracy, your picking speed will change because that is the true limiter of your picking speed. This is a fact. So we think we're either focused on doing it right or we're focused on trying to do it fast, which is equally, unproductive because the brain doesn't know what to focus on to become better. What's the key? What's the key that the brain needs to focus on? Is picking depth accuracy and how loud which is basically the same thing, how loud the note sounds. I can tell you I'm using to the point of 1/100th of a millimeter the same picking depth every time. And every time I produce an accent when I'm picking, it's a little tiny bit deeper, which makes me use a little bit more force to push through the string without it being faster, right? I cannot do it faster because then the whole thing will not be even when it comes to the tempo. But I'm just pushing it down just 1/10th of a millimeter, maybe even less, and that I have to use a little bit more force, but that little bit more force and that little bit deeper is impossible to calculate my way to because it's so little. So how do we learn that? By focusing on it, right? Because once you focus, the brain knows when it's making a mistake, and then it can adjust. So I'm picking, and every time I make a mistake or feel uncertain or I don't know what that, some of the pick strokes sounds like accents and they shouldn't be, then the brain goes, this is not correct. This is not correct. Let me fix it. And that, trying to do it right and getting it right is the practicing, is building the right pattern. And then speed increases. Hallelujah, right? Because we're focusing, we're using our brain. Some people get that by intuition, without knowing, without even being conscious about it. The brain just gets it and start building the right pattern. For some other people like myself, that doesn't happen, right? So we have to be consciously aware of what goes on here. But it's a miracle once you get started and really, giving the brain the focus it needs to become better, actually. Just imagine that focus. And when I focus on that, my eyes goes in that direction. I become blind almost. I'm not thinking about what I see. I'm only focused on the feeling and the sound I hear from the loudspeaker or the guitar itself. And that's when when the brain can learn. Specific, razor-sharp focus. And just imagine that up against, right? Too much information, too many notes, synchronizing the two hands and just trying to make it happen. And there's absolutely zero focus on accuracy, which is the core thing we need to focus on to build speed. So I hope this makes sense to you. And this should be like a eureka moment where you go, rush in, take your guitar, start practicing with a totally different focus, and start getting some results. This is only one tiny little bit of insights that you can get and learn to use when you practice and get vastly different results that are in our new alternate picking program, the Ultimate Alternate Picking Training System. So I hope you'll go check that out and then be very alert to the next video where I'm going to reveal another thing to focus on when it comes to alternate picking practice. But go check that program out. It's amazing. And we actually promise and guarantee results in 30 days to prove that this actually works. And so look out for the next video tomorrow. Click the link below here. Go, visit the new program. Very excited about it. It's a 4-week process. You can learn all about it in the video on the page. So see you tomorrow. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.